they want to. Talk don't bother me. I want the whole wide world to know that I love you so.
And welcome to Let Them Talk. I'm Paul DeRienzo.
And I'm Miss Joan Marie Moossy.
And we have a great show for you tonight with some live music. And Joni, I'll throw it to you for the introductions.
Well, these ladies are from a group called Ethel, and this is Mary Rowell and Dorothy Lawson, and we're here to talk about a concert that they have coming up on Friday at the Winter Garden, which is free, so everybody I know is going to be interested in seeing that. And we're going to talk a little bit about the group and how it's come to be, because this is your 10th year.
We're starting our 10th year.
If I'm not mistaken, and I know that you have some special things coming up in 2008.
Oh, yeah.
So the first thing I wanted to ask you is where you got the name Ethel, because I have an association with that name, and so
you do?
I do.
What's your association first?
Well, I worked for a man named Ethel Eichelberger, who chose his name to be Ethel.
Wow.
And he was a wonderful playwright. He was my mentor as an actor. And so I was just curious, because
a male Ethel.
That's right.
That's
the first man.
Yes,
yeah,
a male Ethel.
Wow. Well, we're a group Ethel. Probably a first also. But we were looking for a name that didn't have any association for people about the kind of music that they might expect to hear.
Yeah.
And
something a little lighthearted.
yeah. Because
now you're an all-string band. Is that
right.
correct?
Well,
so
we're a string quartet, actually.
So there's two other members.
Yes.
And but you're not a string quartet in a really classical sense.
Exactly.
You mix classical music with rock influences, and
well, we only do original music.
Oh, all right. So you're not doing any.
We don't do any of the normal classical.
And we're also not covering rock tunes.
Yeah.
You're not covering
rock tunes.
Oh, okay. Right. You're not doing.
We don't do Led Zeppelin per se. As Led Zeppelin, we would take a Led Zeppelin tune and use elements of it to create it and adapt it to our own particular music.
Now, did you all meet in school, or what brought you all together?
Various places and times, actually. But
you're all classically trained.
We all came here to go to Juilliard, or we went through the Juilliard school, and we started off simply as freelancers in the New York environment, and loved it. Just had all the thrills and chills and not quite knowing which direction that you're going to go in next, that New York always throws at you. And it challenged us to develop skills that a lot of classical musicians have never really tried before. So,
and do you have guest artists play with you sometimes?
Yes, we enjoy the quartet medium, or this particular group of instruments is a wonderful collaborating force. Yeah. So we enjoy that a lot.
Now let's talk a little bit about the concert on Friday, because I want to be sure that people know about what to expect. It's a winter solstice celebration, which is, of course, this time of year, and it's the source of all the holiday celebrations.
Well, what is the winter solstice?
It's the day that...
The shortest day of the year.
That's right.
The shortest day of the year, first day of winter.
Yeah.
The first
day of
night.
Well, it's coming up on December 21st, 22nd, so that'll be the longest night of the year, and then the days progressively get longer throughout the spring up until the first day of summer, when then the opposite happens. All right. So you're going to be having an event at the Winter Garden to celebrate the winter solstice.
And there's two performances.
And where's the Winter Garden? Where is the Winter Garden for all our?
Oh, the Winter Garden is at the World Financial Center down in Battery Park City.
That's right.
Vesey Street.
And there's two shows, one at 12:30 and one at 7.
Exactly. The 12:30 show will be a shorter show because we don't have the ability to use lighting because it's such a bright.
Right.
One
it's
thing
all
people should
windows.
know,
Right.
the Winter Garden is actually a glass enclosed space. It's gorgeous, and
absolutely
they call it a
beautiful.
Winter Garden because they maintain a garden of palm trees, and they're year round.
Right.
And it's true. In the middle of the day, you simply have ambient light. You have the full daylight to work with, which is beautiful in its own way. But when you're talking about theater, normally people like to be able to focus the light, and we can't do that for the afternoon, but it'll be beautiful.
The lunch hour.
Lunch
Yeah,
concert.
it's
yeah.
a shorter program and kind of hopefully a teaser for people to come back at 7. To
And
see
this isn't the
whole
first
show.
time you've done this.
No.
So tell us a little bit about what to expect from this particular concert.
Well, this is a project that we, or a concert series that we present called In the House of Ethel, and where we will present a concert in a theatrical way in a marvelous space. So not in a normal concert hall or theater, an atrium space perhaps, or at the Winter Garden is a
Well, it's
fabulous
stunning.
spot.
It's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's kind of a musical installation where we move in the space and we encourage the audience to participate in the concert.
Follow us
Follow
or-
us
Oh,
or
wonderful.
to move themselves.
So it's like a
to
sound
experience it.
environment, sort
Yeah.
of. Mhm.
Right. So it's a slightly different way to listen to music.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, one thing I wanted to talk about too is the truck stop tour,
Mhm.
and this is what you have coming up in 2008.
Yeah.
And can you tell us what that is and what inspired this? And
Go ahead, Dorothy. Well, we're getting all this information out in the first
so
5
cool.
minutes. So.
Well,
Yeah,
one
we're
thing
going
is-
to go to some music in a minute.
Cool. One thing
Absolutely.
I just wanted to say, before we go any farther about the concert on Friday
Oh, okay.
at the Winter Garden is that it's free. I'd like
Absolutely
everyone
free.
to come just because it's a public space and making music in places that people take for granted is a really
And it's a good
exciting
thing for
experience.
anybody. Children would
Sure.
enjoy
Oh,
it.
children will have a
Elderly
great time.
people
Okay.
would enjoy
So
it.
this concert is not only music, as a matter of fact. This concert is a lot of original music, a number of holiday tunes that people will recognize in various forms. And we have the incredible pleasure of working with 4 world-class pianists. They're all friends of ours, playing 4 beautiful grand Steinways.
Oh,
and
wow.
and among them is a very fine man from Las Vegas who has brought his partner, who is an illusionist. So we'll have
Oh,
a magician
fun.
as part of the show.
And
this
for
time.
more information and for folks who want to, who might forget all the information we're giving them now, you have a website? And what's
Yes.
that website?
It's ethelcentral.com.
ETHEL Central, one word,
Right.
.com.
Right.
All right, let's play some music.
Cool.
Okay, great. And then we'll talk about the truck stop tour after that.
Okay, great.
All right, excellent.
All right. What do you want to play, Dorothy?
Well, I got this note that's like just kind of.
You don't want to quit going?
Yay.
But there was another chorus. Oh my God.
By the way, our number here, we are live, and our number is 212-757-1538. That's 212-757-1538. So if you'd like to call and speak with Ethel and ask any questions, go ahead. Pick up the phone, 212-757-1538. We're here to take your calls. So,
And we're here with two members of Ethel,
And by the way,
Mary Rowell and Dorothy Lawson.
the other two are men.
Oh, so
We have male Ethels as well.
It's a mixed group.
That's
great.
right.
Well, I really enjoyed that.
Thank you.
That was wonderful. So 10 years together, that's really great for a band, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the Truck Stop Tour. I think this is fascinating. First of all, what is it?
Well, when you're a traveling group, you end up getting on the plane and getting to the hotel and going to the stage door and playing your concert and going back to the hotel and getting on the plane and so forth and so on. And you don't really get a chance to see where you are and get to know the people, to know the community at all. And,
Right, you're in and out.
and in a way, it started off as a notion of creating a musical diary of traveling. And then we realized that every place we go has a special indigenous quality and indigenous musics that are important to the communities, and we decided to look into that a little more and seek out people,
Local musicians.
local musicians, and it's been a blast. You know, we get together with them and jam.
So how long do you generally stay in a community? For a few days or a week? Or?
The shortest amount of time is a couple of days.
Yeah, to do this kind of work, you really want to be able to experience a little bit of the life that these people, that your friends live, and open yourself to a different pace quite often. You know, New York is a very, very urgent city, and things run very fast, and it's not at everyone's comfort level. So to get into another person's life, you take time.
I found it interesting that you had played with the Hopi and Navajo tribes or nations in Arizona, and you were on the Hopi land and the Navajo reservation.
Yeah.
Right.
And how did that come to be?
Well, we went to the Grand Canyon Music Festival to work with, and they have a program they call NACAP, a Native American Composers Apprentice Program, and they have been nurturing young musicians in the Navajo and Hopi community for 7 or 8 years now. And they send a teacher out to work with the kids to codify their music, and then they bring in a string quartet. They write the music for quartet, and then the quartet would work with the kids and then do a performance. And we were invited to take part in this, and we did so. We're very happy to do so, and it was
a
wonderful,
transformational experience.
Really wonderful.
Where was the location? Where did you play?
Well, the concerts take place at the South Rim in the Chapel of the Ages and at the park. But the actual week of traveling the reservation, we were all over. Tuba City, Chinle, Monument Valley, Kayenta.
Oh, it's
That's
so
amazing.
beautiful.
You played in all those beautiful locations.
Yeah, and we worked
in the high schools,
school programs for the younger kids, and then would work in the afternoons with the composers on their pieces, you know, reading them for the first time and them hearing their music for the first time. And,
Wow.
And we've done this for 3 years now, and we've had some kids that have been in the program more than 1 year, and to see their progress and and also learning from what they have to.
We've learned
offer.
enormous amounts from them, but they've also, it's a little eerie, they've begun writing Ethel-esque music, which is
that's great.
a feedback system. It's really something,
Wow.
But
wow.
yeah,
So
no,
what are
it's
some
very
of the
exciting.
stops this year?
It's the same.
Well, the truck stop.
Oh, you mean our truck stop?
Well, actually, and because we were there last year, we got together with one of the kids' father, who's a musician, a singer and poet for Navajo, and we got together and jammed with him, and it was wonderful. We had a great time, and we actually kind of created something as a germ of bigger pieces to come, and we invited him to join us at our performance the next week, and we did it for the first time. Dorothy, actually, we brought him to New York a couple of times last year to perform, and the piece that Dorothy, we improvised to start, had really turned into a beautiful work in various, anyway, the music got developed more, and that's also the point, is to create music together, something really uniquely
and to have the
from
time
that experience.
To,
yeah, and it takes time to.
It's also that fabulous moment when it happens. Maybe unfortunately, it usually happens away from an audience, but where you are sharing your musical personalities and your insights, and you have a moment to comment back and forth, whether or not the thing is feeling good, whether or not you've been understood, if you've got questions about what you've been listening to. And it is a real way of becoming vulnerable to each other, a real way of sharing, and a real kind of communication, even through the music.
I want to ask you about your instruments, because believe it or not, a lot of folks probably watching and don't know what you call these things and what they are and how they work.
This thing.
Yes. But would you like to play something more before that?
No, let's talk.
Yeah, let's talk. Tell me a little bit about your what is this? This is a cello, right?
This is the cello. That's right.
Tell us a little bit about a cello. What is a cello and what's it?
Well, the cello is it's sort of the largest member of the violin family, and violins were. They're string instruments, wooden resonating bodies with strings attached, have been evolved in just about every culture on Earth. In Europe, they took these forms, and this style was pretty much perfected in the 1600s. And of course, to amplify the resonance of the strings, they added this open body behind it, and
so this is hollow inside.
Yeah. So to get high, small vibrations, you would use very short strings. To get very deep, long, thin ones. To get darker, lower sounds, you need the longer, heavier strings. So you need a bigger body.
And that sure is a heavy sound when you play that.
It's heavy, yeah, right, exactly.
Right. Now, what are the other instruments that are
string
involved?
quartet?
Yeah, the two other members. What do they play?
A normal string quartet is 2 violins,
okay,
and a viola, which is bigger than the violin, but not quite as big as the cello.
So it's also played like this.
And you play it on your shoulder as well.
That's right.
And and the cello.
Yeah.
That's a
and
very
what
normal
people can't
string
see
quartet.
is off camera is that this cello is being supported by an end pin. There we go.
Down here.
A piece of steel which holds it off the ground. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, in the old days, you had to hold it with your knees. And
right.
in modern times, they stuck a pin on there.
That's right.
Oh, that must have been hard, though.
It was limiting. It was. I mean, that's one of the reasons that our instruments and our playing techniques have evolved even since then. In fact, the state of the art is so highly evolved now that pretty much everybody coming out of conservatories can handle all of the standard classical music. They can play everything.
Well, I saw Yo-Yo Ma play once, and one of those strange instruments he calls a cello.
Yeah, he's something else. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, but no, it's a wonderful privilege to play one of these things. My cello was built in about 1697, I believe.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, so it's old, and a lot of other people have played it.
This is a 300-year-old instrument you're playing, and
yeah.
that's why it sounded so great.
It's got a very, very heavy, dark sound, and it wouldn't have that without the time. Yeah, that's right.
Would you like to play something else for us?
Okay, sure.
Go right ahead.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
And don't forget about the concert at the Winter Garden Friday, 12:30 and 7 p.m.
Right, and we have about 8 minutes to go, just so you know what our time frame is.
Well, we'll play a second, and then we'll speak again.
Sure, absolutely.
My turn.
Thank
And
you
you're
so
watching
much.
Let 'Em Talk. I'm Joan Moossy. This is Paul DeRienzo, and
Hi.
we're here with Mary Rowell and Dorothy Lawson from Ethel. They're doing a concert this Friday, 12:30 and 7 p.m. at the Winter Garden, a winter solstice celebration, and it's free. So I hope everybody will be interested in going to see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
we'd love
It's
to
going
see
to
you
be
there.
a lot of fun.
And your website, just so folks can get information,
Yes.
is
EthelCentral.com.
ETHEL Central.com.
And there's going to be 4 pianists with 4
Yes.
grand pianos,
Yes.
which is pretty unusual,
Yes,
isn't
I
it?
like
Very
Grand
unusual.
piano.
just in case anybody knows any of these people, we'd love to mention.
Yeah,
that
why
the-
don't you say the names of them and
4
also
pianists and our colleagues.
other- That's a
Actually,
lot of
the
tuning.
whole of Ethel is Mary Rowell, Dorothy Lawson, Cornelius Dufalo, and Ralph Ferris. Ralph is the viola player, Cornelius is the other violin. And the 4 pianists who are joining us for this very large event on Friday are Kathleen Supove, Raja Raman, Stephen Gosling, and Rob Schwimmer. And they are just stellar talents. I hope you can take the time to come because they are putting themselves into a forum that they don't normally get to do with 4 pianos
It's been
together.
very interesting rehorsing with 4 pianists. in
I
the room.
bet. Where
And
do you
they've been
re-
tickled, I have
Oh,
to say.
they
They've been
have
having a
been.
great time.
The piano tuner must be kept busy.
He didn't show up today, I think. Was that the problem with the rehearsal?
We've been leaving a little bit of mayhem behind
Maybe the
us.
piano tuner union is on strike. I don't know, with all the strikes.
Oh,
going
I
on.
hope
Oh,
not. Not with 4 pianos.
You know, and putting on a show like this it's so much fun, and you get to work with other people that you don't normally, like lighting designers and well, we always have a sound engineer with us, of course, but
But a big crew of people
a
for
big crew of
something
people,
like this.
stage managers and things. You know, it's been quite a thing.
Now, have you rehearsed at the Winter Garden, or are you rehearsing
No,
somewhere
no.
else?
That's one of the things. It's a live space. I mean, this is
It's in
you know,
constant
in
use,
constant
yeah.
use. So in fact, the time we get there is
Similar
after
to Let Them
hours.
Talk.
yeah.
Similar to our space here, which is a bit smaller though, and not quite as,
In constant
but a
use.
very live space. And we are live 212, what is our number? 757-1538. And we have a few minutes, so if you want to get a call in and ask some questions of Ethel about the show and about their music, their instruments, give us a call. We got a couple minutes. 212-757-1538.
We could just be a little bit more, descriptive of the beautiful event we've got coming up at the end of 2008, which is designing a lot of what we do for the rest of for the year in between. We will be performing at the Brooklyn Academy of Music in the middle of October, October 14th through 18th. And it will be kind of a launch for the public of our truck stop work, presenting 4 of the collaborations that we'll be developing between now and then. One with the Native American flute player Robert Mirabal, who lives in Taos. One with a slack key guitarist from Hawaii called Jeff Peterson. With Eva Ibarra from San Antonio, Texas, of the Conjunto community there, fabulous accordion player, and the inimitable Dean Osborne of the famous Osborne family from Kentucky, and he plays banjo. So
What a
it's this-
collection.
exactly.
That's
String
a collection
quartet
of styles.
with yes, exactly. With everything
So
from
these
bluegrass
are the
to slack
pieces that you'll be developing through 2008 on the Truck Stop
Yes.
Tour.
Right.
Will all culminate at the Brooklyn Academy of Music
Hey
with
guys, we got
presenting
2
it.
more minutes. Would you like to play something to go out with, and you can just
Sure.
play
That'd
right
be
out the next
great.
2
Sure.
minutes?
And don't forget about the concert on Friday. It's free. It's at the Winter Garden, World
Right.
Financial
And
Center.
EthelCentral.com to find out more. But let's go play a
All
couple.
right.
We have a couple
Thank
minutes
you.
left.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming.
you.
Should we do Lighthouse?
And thank you.
Hit the
very
wall.
much. That was great.
Perfect. Wow, that was great. Thank you so much. That was excellent. All right.